Welcome, one and all, to The Late Show. I'm your host, Stephen Colbert. Folks, 5 weeks tonight. Tonight marks 5 weeks since the start of Russia's failed invasion of Ukraine. Now remember, the so-called military experts, not just here, but around the world, all predicted that Putin's forces would conquer Kyiv in less than 3 days. And there are a lot of reasons that it's going so terribly. The Russian troops, they have no clear purpose. The troops are running out of food. And it turns out they have really bad technology. For instance, while most modern military radios are impossible to intercept, many Russian forces are communicating on unencrypted high-frequency channels that allow anyone with a ham radio to eavesdrop. To which Russian soldiers said, "A radio made of ham? Can I have one? I'm so hungry." I have a... Now, Russia's walkie-talkies are being bombarded with heavy metal music from Ukrainian operators. Okay, that's not bad, heavy metal. But if Ukraine really wants to mess with Russian soldiers, they should flood their walkie-talkies with an unbearably long podcast. Ugh, it's been 2 hours and Mark Maron is still talking about his SNL audition. What the hell is a MailChimp? What is this MailChimp? WTF. But Vladimir Putin may not be aware of just how bad his invasion is going, because new intelligence suggests that Putin's advisors misinformed him on Ukraine. Well, Putin's clearly a victim of his own pro-Russian propaganda. I mean, he doesn't even know that Russia lost Rocky IV. Over there, it's an 8-minute film called Ivan Drago Stronggood. Reportedly, senior Russian officials are wary of delivering truthful assessments, potentially afraid that the messengers of bad news will be held responsible for the battlefield failures. Of course they're afraid to be honest. No matter what you say to a psychotic boss, you lose. Here, I'll show you. Hey, Louis,
yeah.
I've been offered the role of Rigoletto over at the Metropolitan Opera. Do you think I have the pipes for it? Now, bear in mind, if you say I don't, I will throw you off the balcony. But if you say I do, and then I embarrass myself over at the Met, I will throw you off the balcony. So, be honest, what should I do?
I think you should ask John when he gets back.
Good choice. That's good choice. And it's not just the war. Intelligence analysts also say that Putin has an incomplete understanding about how damaging Western sanctions have been on the Russian economy. Let's see if I can explain it to him. Vlad, okay, if you're paying with rubles, you can cross toilet paper off your shopping list. Life is hard on everyday Russians. Putin has cracked down on independent and social media. For instance, Russia has blocked Instagram. Okay, it's one thing to take away free speech, govern through fear, and collapse a nation's economy. But no brunchgrams? That violates international law and the International House of Pancakes. That's Rudy Tooty. Fresh and screwy. Fresh and pooty? I don't know. This has been particularly tough on Russian influencers, many of whom posted videos of tearful goodbyes to their fans. Well, of course, the influencers are upset. Influencers have no other marketable skills. What are they gonna do? Go door to door to make people feel bad about not having a thigh gap? One. I don't know if I have a... Do I have a thigh gap? I don't know if I have a thigh gap. One group of Russian programmers has come up with a solution. They are releasing a melancholy version of Instagram. Well, then they're going to get sued because a melancholy version of Instagram is already the slogan for LinkedIn. I know, no email. Don't email me. Don't email me. This new Russian app is called Grustnogram, or in English, Sadgram. Fits in with other great Russian social media sites like Why the Long Facebook And tick-tock goes the clock as time marches forward, a difficult birth astride of a grave. Speaking, sometimes sad is funny. Speaking of sad, it has been 4 days since Will Smith shocked the world by assaulting Chris Rock on the Oscars stage. But, we should have seen this coming. He repeatedly warned us he's a bad boy for life. But now there could maybe possibly kind of be some consequences, and I'll bring you the latest in my hopefully not recurring segment, Getting Slappy With It. Na 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 na. Yesterday, it's got a hook. Yesterday, the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences began disciplinary proceedings against Will Smith. But first, they put on a mouthguard and a cup, just in case. After a board meeting, the Oscar bigwigs released a statement saying Smith had violated their code of conduct by engaging in inappropriate physical contact, abusive or threatening behavior, and compromising the integrity of the Academy. And it is so important to preserve the integrity of the Academy. Roman Polanski. Roman Polanski. Sorry, I got a little tickle in my...
Okay?
Kevin Spacey. Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein. The clap back started as soon as palm hit face because yesterday the Academy revealed that Smith was asked to leave the show but refused to do so. Well, they probably just didn't have the right man on the job. Uncle Phil?
So what do you think, Uncle Phil?
Thank you for your service, Uncle Phil. Woo! Strong. Now, not everyone agrees with the Academy's side of the story. Other attendees claim some Academy members expressed that they wanted Smith removed, but no formal or explicit ask was ever made, and that actually a producer said that he and the production officially wanted Smith to stay for the remainder of the show because they needed him to get his Oscar in person. Otherwise, you gotta send up Rita Moreno to say, Will couldn't be here, and I'm honored to slap Chris Rock on his behalf. And whatever really happened that night, and it's not what the Academy says, the Academy is now ready to dole out the pain. One board member summed up their thoughts saying, I think everyone unanimously feels what he did was out of control. People want real consequence. Oh, wow, real consequences. Which means they're gonna make Will Smith watch a double feature of Hitch and The Legend of Bagger Vance. I know, I think that violates the Geneva Convention. Staying in the world of media, you know I'm a company man. I love CBS, our parent company Paramount, and its parent company, probably a defense contractor that makes boner pills. There's no way of knowing. But I recently heard some office hot goss that has rocked my socks off. And I'll tell you all the deets in my first running segment, the CBS water cooler.
Okay, who here is watching SWAT?
We all are, Gluggy. Recently, my network has gotten a lot of criticism, much of it from itself, because CBS News has hired the ex-president's former chief of staff, Mick Mulvaney, to, quote, provide political analysis across the network's broadcasts and platforms. For more, we go to the Late Show's own media analyst, Stephen Colbert. Stephen, your thoughts? What the Back to you, Steve. Thanks, Stephen. I, for one, can't wait to hear Mulvaney's trenchant and objective political analysis, considering that back in 2020, He suggested that coronavirus was the media hoax of the day. And after his boss extorted Zelensky for dirt on the Bidens, he said, "Get over it." And just days after the election, he announced if he loses, the former president will concede gracefully, adding, he'll fight hard to make sure the results are fair, and in the end, he'll accept the result, whatever it is. Is Mick Mulvaney psychic? Get this man to Vegas. He's Nostradamus. So, obviously... So, obviously, I'm just joking. But why would the Tiffany Network's venerable news division put this craven toady to a tyrant on their payroll? According to leaked audio, one exec said they wanted to make sure that we are getting access to both sides of the aisle is a priority, because we know the Republicans are going to take over, most likely, in the midterms. That's right, they're not just reporting the news anymore, they're predicting it now. And reworking our programming in the hopes of cozying up to the GOP. So get ready for our new spring lineup. Young Q Shaman, Bob restricts the reproductive rights of Abishola, and Blue Bloods. I'm sure. I'm sure this has all been tough on Mulvaney, and as a co-worker, I feel like it's my duty to make sure that he is portrayed fairly on this, now his network. So joining us now, live via satellite from Washington, D.C., please welcome CBS News contributor Mick Mulvaney. See you at the Christmas party, Mick. We got a great show for you tonight. My guest is James McAvoy, but when we return, I celebrate women's history with a special guest. It's Jane Krakowski.